Hi everybody, this is Module 13 and this is Cheryl Gonzalez, and this is my reflection. So after reviewing the copyright and fair use websites, which area surprised me as the most breaking copyright laws? It's going to have to be the recording a broadcast off the television. I didn't know that if you broadcasted or recorded something and used it in a classroom environment, let's say 20 days after use, then you could be potentially sued because you're breaking a copyright law of 10 days. Didn't know that even existed. I mean, I've seen tons of video copied off of the internet, copied off of the TV and shown in classrooms as for educational purposes, and had no idea that that was actually breaking a law. So that was pretty extraordinary for me to learn. The other thing was I'm pretty familiar with the web page where for the copyright resources and the Creative Commons. I've actually used that on another one of my classes and use that to actually put our logo for Creative Commons or our copyright on that presentation. So it can be used widely but not distributed for profit. So that wasn't anything new for me, but it is indeed informative because a lot of people aren't aware that that's even out there and that even exists. So what examples have I experienced where educators have broken copyright laws? Well, I think me as an educator, I've actually done that because I've taken pictures from the web and pasted them into my presentations. So for example, if it was a pump class, then I've actually copied used a snippet tool to copy a picture off the web that was relative to that pump class and then put it in my presentation as an example. So I did reference the actual resource, but I think that if I hadn't have referenced that resource, which I'm sure I did, it actually violated that copyright law. I've also seen educators using all kinds of programs that they've duplicated either from their home or work and spread that amongst different computers in the classrooms and different areas of the school. So I've seen that where they didn't have the licenses, they only had one license at a time and they shared that. I've also seen where where I've seen it taken a textbook and modifying that textbook and using that as their own by making it relevant to their own school. So I've seen that happen, and that's definitely not permissible. Now, I have seen it where they have given them permission to modify the textbook as long as we were using it and we weren't reselling the textbook, which that actually occurred. So how did I do on the fair use quiz? Oh, I didn't do very well. I got like a 53. And the question that I thought was most shocking was a history teacher taped the original ABC News report showing Richard Nixon leaving the White House. She used the entire news program every year in her classroom, and that's fair use. Again, this goes back to my original statement that didn't realize that public broadcast shows can only be used for 10 days afterwards unless the copyright holder grants greater allowances for educators. Had no idea. None at all. I've even taken an educational video that had that we had purchased from an educational website, put it on our webpage, and allowed it to be accessible for our entire company. Didn't know that was in violation either. So, you know, those are some of the questions or some of the things that shocked me the most. Now, copyrighted material used in multimedia projects may remain in the student's portfolio forever. I kind of guessed on that one. While it is true it is kind of shocking if that student chooses to use that portfolio later, then I think there would be some heartburn about that. And then the last one that I thought was shocking was not necessarily shocking, but happened a lot in my lifetime with Napster. When Napster first came on board, we were copying copyrighted and material left and right. And here the question on number 14 was: a student brings in an audio cassette copy of the national anthem that he copied from an audio CD lent to him by a friend. Then another student digitized that and turned it into HyperStudio Stack. That's exactly what we did. We took a cassette or a CD and uploaded that to the computer and then posted that and shared it with the nation. No idea, just thought it was really cool at the time until all the copyright laws came out, being publicized nationally. Didn't know we were violating any laws, just thought it was really neat that we could share music and have it an unlimited amount of music available to us. So, eye-opening experience for me, not so much with the copyright resources, specifically the Creative Commons, being able to share resources for educational purposes, etc. But the rest of it was pretty eye-opening to me. So thanks for sharing that one. I've learned a lot.